Right now, as you read this, Earth is moving. Not slowly, not gently. You are hurtling through space at roughly 67,000 miles per hour, and yet somehow everything stays in place. The moon hangs exactly where it should. The sun rises. The seasons turn. It feels permanent. It feels safe. But there was a moment in Earth's history when none of that was guaranteed. A moment when something so massive, so fast, so catastrophically aimed at our young planet that the entire future of life on Earth balanced on an event that lasted minutes. An event scientists call the giant impact. A collision so violent that it didn't just damage Earth, it nearly unmade it. And the strangest part? If it hadn't happened, you might not be here at all. Let's go back. Way back. About 4.5 billion years ago, the solar system is still young. It doesn't look like what you see in textbooks. It's chaos. Rocks and gas and ice are everywhere, clumping together, smashing apart, crashing into each other at speeds that make today's fastest spacecraft look slow. The planets aren't finished yet. They're being assembled in real time, piece by piece, through violence. Earth is one of these works in progress, growing larger every few million years as debris rains down on it. But it's not alone. Somewhere in its orbital path, another body is forming. Scientists call it Theia, a protoplanet roughly the size of Mars, maybe larger. And Theia has a problem. It's on a collision course with Earth. Now, this isn't like a meteor strike. This isn't a rock the size of a mountain hitting a planet the size of a planet. This is two planets hitting each other. Theia is enormous. Some models suggest it was comparable to Earth in mass. And when something that large hits something that large, the rules change entirely. The impact, when it comes, happens in a geological instant. The surface of early Earth is already molten, a churning sea of magma thousands of kilometers deep. Theia slams into it at an oblique angle, not head-on but a glancing blow. And that single detail, the angle of impact, is what changes everything. Planetary scientist Robin Canup at the Southwest Research Institute has spent decades running computer simulations of this moment. What her models show is extraordinary. The collision releases energy equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs all at once. Rock and metal and magma explode outward into space. A ring of debris forms around Earth, and within perhaps 1,000 years, a geological blink, the debris coalesces into something new. The moon. Stop and hold that thought. The moon, the object that controls your tides, that lit the way for every ancient human who ever walked at night, that has inspired every myth about lunacy and werewolves and harvests, was born from a catastrophic planetary collision. Your moon is a scar, a beautiful, permanent reminder that Earth almost didn't make it. But here is the part most people never hear. The moon didn't just happen to form. The moon, according to a growing body of evidence, is what made Earth livable, what made you possible. Here's why. Before the impact, Earth had almost no axial tilt. A planet without tilt has no real seasons. Without seasons, you get drastically different climate zones locked in place forever. The tropics become uninhabitable furnaces. The poles freeze into permanent ice. The conditions needed for complex life to evolve over billions of years simply don't exist in the same way. But Theia's impact knocked Earth sideways. It gave our planet its current 23.5-degree tilt, and that tilt, maintained and stabilized over billions of years by the gravitational pull of the moon, is what gives you spring and summer and autumn and winter. It's what kept Earth's climate stable enough for life to evolve from single cells into something capable of wondering where it came from. Geochemist Alex Halliday at Columbia University studied the chemical signatures left in lunar rocks brought back by Apollo missions. What he found confirmed what the models had long suggested. The moon shares isotopic fingerprints with Earth, with some key differences, exactly what you'd expect from a violent mixing event rather than a captured wandering body. The moon is genuinely part of Earth, ripped out, reshaped, sent into orbit. And here's a detail that still surprises scientists. The impact may also have given Earth much of its water. Early Earth was largely dry. Water, the thing life depends on absolutely, was scarce on the inner rocky planets. But Theia, if it formed at a slightly greater distance from the sun, may have carried ice and water-bearing minerals in its composition. When it merged with Earth, it may have delivered the oceans. Think about that. The oceans didn't just appear. They may have arrived on the back of a collision that should have been extinction before life even existed. This is where the story gets genuinely strange, because for a long time, scientists weren't sure the giant impact actually happened. The evidence was indirect. The models fit, but so did other explanations. Some researchers proposed that the moon formed elsewhere and was captured by Earth's gravity. Others suggested it condensed from a cloud of material around early Earth without any single dramatic event. Then came the lunar samples. 12 Apollo astronauts walked on the moon between 1969 and 1972. They brought back 842 pounds of rock. And those rocks, analyzed over decades with increasingly precise instruments, kept pointing in the same direction. The moon's composition was too similar to Earth's mantle to be coincidental, but also subtly different in ways that matched a giant impact model. In 2012, a team led by Junjun Zhang published isotopic analysis of lunar titanium that strengthened the case further. The moon's titanium matches Earth's almost exactly, far too precisely for it to be a random object captured from elsewhere. Something mixed them together thoroughly, something violent. But here is where modern science gets even more interesting. Not all scientists agree on the exact details. Some newer models, including work by Sarah Stewart at UC Davis and Mattia Cook at the SETI Institute, suggest the impact may have been more violent than originally thought. Not a glancing blow, but something closer to a full collision. In their models, the early Earth was spinning so fast after the impact that a day lasted only 2 to 3 hours. The moon's gravity slowly braked that spin over billions of years, lengthening your day to 24 hours. The moon gave Earth its tilt, its seasons, possibly its oceans, and a stable, regular day. Every morning when the alarm goes off, you have Theia to thank. But step back even further and the stakes feel even higher. The solar system's early period is called the Late Heavy Bombardment. Between roughly 4.1 and 3.8 billion years ago, the inner planets were pummeled by a wave of asteroid and comet impacts. The craters you see on the moon today are largely scars from that period. Earth was hit too, hard, many times. In that environment, a near-miss extinction event wasn't unusual. It was the norm. The solar system was running experiments with planetary survival. Earth passed, barely, repeatedly. The giant impact was just the most dramatic test, the one that could have shattered Earth entirely or sent it drifting into a new orbit, closer to the sun or farther away, outside the habitable zone. Either outcome ends the story before it begins. So why did Earth survive? The angle, the speed, the size of Theia relative to Earth? A slightly different combination of any of these variables, and the result changes completely. More head-on, and both planets may simply merge into a larger, moonless world. More oblique, and Theia might have grazed past, leaving Earth wobbling but intact, without enough debris to form a moon. Without a moon to stabilize its tilt, Earth might have tumbled chaotically through its orbit over millions of years, its axial tilt swinging wildly, producing climate swings too extreme for complex life. The universe, in other words, didn't care whether you existed. It ran the simulation once, with one particular set of numbers, and this is the result. There's a concept in planetary science called the rare Earth hypothesis, proposed by paleontologist Peter Ward and astronomer Joe Kirschving. The idea is that the conditions that allowed complex life on Earth, not just microbial life, but animals, ecosystems, nervous systems, were not inevitable. They were a rare convergence of factors, the right distance from the right kind of star, a large planet like Jupiter deflecting incoming asteroids, a large moon to stabilize the tilt, a collision billions of years ago that set everything in motion.